bloom in spring. Tell me who gives the air that you breathe. Ooh. Everything that you need he will provide, so you may as well come on and give him a try. 'Cause he's awesome. Ooh, he's awesome. He's awesome. What would I do without him? Couldn't make a move without him. I don't wanna be without him. He's awesome.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to ZMR Ministries. My name is Pastor Z, as you know, and today is Tuesday, so you know what that means. It's another episode of EntrepreKNEWWHAT. It's where we are highlighting putting the spotlight on an entrepreneur for this month. They're going to be talking about their company, giving you nuggets how to be an entrepreneur if you're aspiring. And if you're already an entrepreneur, you may get some tools of wisdom to help you maneuver your company and just working for yourself. Tonight's guest, I love her so dearly. She's a good friend of mine. She's an entrepreneur, and I'm excited for her to share about her journey. Well, help me welcome Deanna Chandler. Welcome, Deanna.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on today and just talking about your company. What exactly is it that you do?
I have a cosmetic line.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Hack Beauty. I started the company because I wanted to allow women to be able to feel free to choose whatever colors they wanted to wear and be them themselves without anybody else's opinion.
So how long have you been doing it?
For 2 years now.
Okay.
2 years. I actually officially started doing my research in 2019, and I did official launch January 11th and 20th of last year.
Oh, so it's been going on, consistently for a year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what inspired you to start your own, not just company, but a makeup line?
You know what? It's funny you said that. I was very fearful at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the one thing that inspired me the most, I will say this, it honestly was developed from my own insecurities.
Okay.
You may
Talk
not
about that, though. Talk about that, because you're a beautiful woman.
You may not ever have known that, but I have my own insecurities, which many women do.
Right.
And I had some insecurities about my lips.
Mm-hmm.
I have big, bold lips,
Women pay for those lips.
Yes, they do. They're paying for them now. But and so I felt some sense of insecurity about it for years because I felt like my bottom lip was much bigger than my top lip. Right? I just always had the big juicy lips, as they would say.
Right.
And so for the most part, I had to accept and love me the way I am. This is how God created me, so I had to accept that I have to love my body, my whole entire self, as it is.
Right.
And so I got inspired because typically I do things a little different. I may come to work in a bold color and somebody makes comments, but that's me. And I felt I had to learn to love me and do what I felt I wanted to do with my own makeup. And so I got inspired because a lot of women, they're not comfortable with themselves. So I wanted to inspire them to choose whatever colors they want to wear.
Boost their confidence.
Right. And just build their self-esteem and let them know that, hey, you do whatever you want to do and be proud and be confident in the choices that you make.
Right.
Whether it's makeup, whether it's your wardrobe, whatever, but that was most of my inspiration for it.
So most of the time, we are a product of our surroundings, our environments. Did you have an example of entrepreneurship in your life?
Of course, maybe some distant friends. I see them, starting things, but never a cosmetic line.
Right.
And the funny thing is that I was so afraid to do it because I was sitting at my desk. I'm a teacher by day. I'm sitting at my desk and I'm talking to one of my coworkers. I'm like, all of a sudden, I want to start a cosmetic line. I want to start a lip line. She's like, well, just do it. And so I was like, I'm scared. It was a lot of fear there. Even knowing that I know the path that people can do it if you put your mind to it, you do research, there was fear there, like, will people buy it?
Right.
Will they like it? Do I even know what to do? So I just kind of started doing some research. I got on YouTube, got online and started researching cosmetic lines and private labeling and all that good stuff. And I found there's so much material out there, but not only that, a lot of people are willing to share their nuggets on how to get started. So I just started watching videos and started taking notes and started researching, and then I just put it all together. And so then I eventually called a good friend of mine, one of my DP friends, a director of photography that did some filming for me, and I said, I need a logo. And he was all excited, oh, Dee, I'm excited for you. So that's how I got started. I got my logo going, and then I went and registered my business name. Then let me tell you, the business name, that was a little bit challenging because I had my own idea.
Right.
And then, you know, you have to, it's very important that you want to get a name that stands out from everyone else.
Correct.
And you don't want to use anything that somebody has already used.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I want to do something about love or hugging and kissing, you know, just because I personally feel that every individual in this whole entire world wants to be loved.
Right.
Or wants to be hugged and wants to be felt as if they're somebody or they're important. So I tried to do, I'll start with hugs and kisses, and there was so many other names out there, so then I just kind of put the acronym together, HACT.
Right.
Hugged and Kissed by Deanna.
Okay, so let me say that. Let me stop it right there because, of course, I'm a HACT customer. Lips.
Yes. HACT Beauty. Yes.
And HACT Beauty.
Yes.
I never knew that that was an acronym until right now.
Yes.
I just thought, you know, it was a cool name, and I never even thought to ask, but it's Hugs and Kisses by Deanna. So every time you wear her makeup, you're getting hugged
and kissed by Deanna.
I feel the love, y'all.
And that's what it was about. I just want to like give the people, inspire women, women empowerment, to feel and be beautiful in whatever choices they make for themselves. No matter what anybody has to say about it, just be confident. You want to wear red lipstick that day? Wear red.
Right.
You want to be bold with blue? Do it, and just be confident and know that you're doing what you choose to do with your makeup.
So you mentioned that you're a teacher, which I love because, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs feel like they always have to take the leap or the plunge, like I call it, where they quit their day job and go full time, full throttle into just pouring into their new endeavor, their new company, whatever it is they're trying to start. How important is it to, you know, be patient about taking that leap?
I think it's very important to be patient because that was one of my fears. When I'm sitting at the desk saying, I want to do this, but can I do it? Can I pull it off? One thing I will say with teaching, you know, we have to be dedicated to what we're doing. I can just walk away from my job. I'm still there. So as you know, you have to balance the time between your business and then as well as your regular day job. So it's very important for people not to rush and overstep, but you have to seek God and ask God to show you the order your steps on how and when would be the right time for you to just walk away from that, your old career. And I will say he has not told me to walk away yet.
Right. Are you waiting on it?
I'm waiting on
it.
Yes, of course. I would think that's every new entrepreneurship owner's goal. But I think it's important for you to, you'll know when the time is right, when the revenue is picking up, or when it's getting harder for you to balance your time, or you're losing so much sleep staying up to 1, 2 in the morning, which we do that anyway. But I'm saying I think it's important for you not to rush it, but I know in your spirit, I believe God will show you when it's time to walk away and just put all of your energy into your business.
So what does that balance look like? Because there are some, you know, I remember whenever I was writing my first book, and I say this all the time, I was still working a 9 to 5. And I was doing overtime because I was like, I gotta pay the publisher, I gotta pay for this, I'm trying to pay for, you know, promotions. I was actually printing out stuff that, you know, from the book cover. I gave my uncle all these printouts so he can go get it laminated. And I was doing all these cutouts, you know, making my own flyers because I don't have the finances for that. So when it comes to learning the balance, what does that look like exactly?
I will say it looks like basically balancing out your time. Scheduling time, like in the evening, like for instance, I get off work about 4:30. So in the evening time, we balance out time to either you're looking for new vendors, or you're putting projects together to boost your company, marketing. It's a lot of work. And another thing I realized, you have to have a team. You have to have a team of people, because if you don't have a team of people, all the work is just completely on you. And what I mean by a team, delegate certain people to do certain things. For instance, the young lady that I shared with the day when I was like, I want to start my line. Okay, you're going to be my creative person where I run things by you. And you know, you just have to balance out the time and make sure you delegate certain people to do certain things for you or with you. Because that's definitely a challenge trying to do that, but you have to find the time to do that. And know that when you're at work, you know, you're thinking about work, but we're also thinking about our business ventures and ideas are coming. You jot those things down when they come to you. And then when you get home in the evening, or whether it's morning, you go ahead and pursue the things for your business. And I think you just have to find a good balance that works for you.
So take me through a step-by-step journey, because you went from feeling insecure about your lips to I want hugs and kisses by Deanna, you know, to getting a logo done. and now you have a whole makeup line. Take me through those steps so others can see what that looks like.
Okay, well, like I said, first I started doing research on private labeling.
Y'all hear that?
Private labeling.
Research.
Private labeling. You have to decide if you're going to want to go with a vendor, American vendor, or go with a foreign vendor. And then you start doing your research, meaning first you figure out what product would you like to start with. I started with lipstick because I felt it was a good way to go, and now that was my thing. Just trying to get people to love their lips or love them the way they are. And I think it's important also to, after you realize what you're going to do, you start getting creative ideas on how you're going to implement it, because you have to find out what your market is.
Right.
So, of course, my market, I was like, okay, I'm going to go for the young, maybe 20, 22, 24, to the elderly women, because you don't exclude anybody, because everybody has the right to feel beautiful and to wear the products. My products are for everyone.
And even younger, because you know, girls start playing in lipstick.
Exactly. Yes, but the mom got to buy it.
That's why we used to steal everybody else.
Exactly. And not only that, and I found that when I started my makeup line, I had family members that their daughters wanted the clear lip gloss and things of that nature. So basically, you figure out what product you want to market, and then figure out what audience you want to market it to.
Okay. And
then you start just putting your own ideas to stuff. Meaning, for instance, I knew my logo. I wanted it to be cursive writing.
Right.
I wanted to have a white detail in my logo. I want a little bit of color, but not too much. And then you just decide what fits you, what suits you. And then from there, like I said, you register your business, tax. Let me tell you, register your company. You have to pay those state taxes on any products that you're selling.
Right.
And I learned the hard way, but I figured out, I have to do that? Okay. So you just have to order your steps with the business, and you get your EIN number, all that good stuff. And you just want to be legally and professional. You have to, then next thing you do, you get your email address, your website, and let me tell you, building a website, that's a big challenge.
Is it? So did you do your own?
I did my own.
Okay.
Grace of God, I stayed up until like 4 or 5 in the morning. I did it myself, but I had to kind of talk myself through it, because it's a big process. You have to upload all the products, you have to take pictures. And I will say, if you do not know how to do this, you hire people to do things for you.
If you can.
If you can. If you cannot, then you go get your camera and get to reeling it up yourself. So I did what I could. And I will say, I did not have a big budget when I started. I think I started my company about $700.
And you know what, let me pause right there, because I think that a lot of people have the notion that in order for me to get started, I have to have this big bankroll. And a lot of times that's what discourages people from starting their own company. So you started with just $700, and to somebody else, they're like, $700, that's huge. How did you put back money, or did you say, you know what, I'm gonna take this check, and this check, I'm starting my company? How did you come to that decision?
How did I come to that? I took my income tax refund from 2019, and I purchased my first set of products. I found a good, I used an American vendor, and I purchased my first set of products. And they came in, I had to upload, send them the logo, and everything came packaged and ready to roll. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I really doing this?
Right.
But it doesn't, you said it exactly, it doesn't take a lot of money, but you have to start somewhere.
Right.
And I will say that, of course, funding is always a challenge. There's been challenges related, especially with COVID here lately. It has not been as profitable.
Correct.
But if it's your dream, if it's your goal, and you see yourself on the other side, reaching the masses and becoming a household name, you keep going. You put back money to the side, so when you actually make your first few sales, don't think you just spend all that money, no.
Right.
You pay yourself a little something, and the rest you put in the bank, and you build up enough revenue to get your next set of products, because you're going to run out. So it's a process, and within the first year, you're not really going to make a lot of money.
Right.
And most companies typically, you'll start seeing revenue in the second and third year.
So I want to know personally, I don't know about the other entrepreneurs, but the colorization process. Because I've ordered lipsticks and some shimmer. What is it, contour or whatever it is? I don't even know. But I ordered from her, just being supportive as a friend. And then when the product came in, I was like, oh. So So then I just kept ordering because I loved it. But what I love the most about it is, we like to beat our faces, and I like to, play around with different colors. How did you go through the colorization process of choosing what color? And, is it a process that you mix together and say, okay, I like this, I don't like that? How does that work?
It is a process. I will say I did not mix anything together.
Okay.
I didn't make it in my kitchen. Again, I did private labeling where I actually chose, I got the color chart and I chose colors I thought would work for me to get my business started.
Right.
Now, of course, in my head right now, I got all these colors. I'm thinking, I could try to do this. I want to do something different. There's always a typical red, there's always a typical brown or blue or gold lipstick and things of that nature. But more than anything, it was about choosing colors I could start with that I could afford to start with.
Right.
Which was, like I said, a basic red, a basic pink, a nice wine color. And then me, there's mattes, there's glosses.
Right.
So it became a little bit challenging trying to find the right colors I wanted to start with, but I tried to find things I know with different shades, different people's complexions, that it would work for both of the different complexion all complexions, I'll say. So it wasn't so much as me mixing up colors, but I chose things I thought would go for the masses of people. Because, everyone wants to have a red lipstick.
Right.
And you gotta throw pink in there. And just because you're dark skinned doesn't mean you can't wear a hot pink. Did you hear me, audience? Or just because you're light skinned doesn't mean you can't wear a darker shade.
Right.
So it's about finding the individuality that suits you. But to start my company, I started with the basic colors I thought were suitable as well as trendy to where I could get a good start.
So because we do see so many makeup lines, you can go in a beauty supply, you can go in Walmart, you can go in, what is it? I was going to say Aldi, that's the grocery store. Alto, Target,
everywhere.
All of those different, stores that sell makeup products. How did you set yourself apart?
Oh gosh, I think with the love. I think I did it from the heart, and then I said I was very transparent about why I started it. And I think that's the big thing, is being honest, being true to yourself, and saying, you know what, I come through the door, I may have some green and some red on. I mean, it's my choice.
Right.
But I'm confident about it, and I don't care how many people say, oh my gosh, really, why'd you wear that? Hey, this is what I want to do, and I'm happy with it. You have to be proud about the choices that you're making. So as far as setting yourself apart, you just have to be confident.
Right.
And it's about love. I feel like my company is built off of love. It's like an illumination of love. I want everyone to feel love. That's why I chose Hug and Kiss. How many people you know that does not want to be hugged and loved and kissed?
Right.
So I felt that was universal. So I think that's one thing that sets my company apart from others.
So what was your expectation in starting it? Because you talked about your insecurities and you talked about, the process of getting to where you are now, where it is fully launched.
Right.
Is it what you expected?
I will say the expectations was to allow women to feel good about themselves. And I learned that what I was doing, I'm on the right path, because when I had one of, I'm at a school, so I had a counselor. She sat down with me and she wanted to, purchase some products. And she's like, I don't really wear makeup. I'm like, what do you mean? You don't wear lipstick? No, I wear lipstick. So I sat down with her and I told her, I said, it's okay, you wear this or try this. I kind of did a consultation with her and let her know different colors I thought would work for her. The next day, she came in, she's wearing it. I need some more. She was buying like a lot of products like every month. And it made me feel good to know that I played a role in her beauty every day. And she was like, I've never ever worn this. I only wear like a clear Vaseline. What? So it just made me feel good. And I will say that that's one thing that inspired me, is knowing that people feeling good about themselves and they're feeling the love, and they want to wake up to say, I'm going to try this color today. I'm going to wear this with this outfit. So that's one thing that inspires me for sure.
So that's the reward.
That's the reward.
When
seeing people happy.
Right. And when you think about starting a new company, you talked about how you were fearful and is it going to work? Are people going to buy it? And then you experience the return. Not always monetarily.
Right.
But the return in, you know what, I have confidence now. Ever since I started using your product, my skin is better, my lips, I feel more beautiful, I feel like a new woman, a new person, and that can be very rewarding. What were some of the challenges that you faced or still do face?
I will say, reaching everybody, you know, because there's, like you said, there's so many different cosmetic lines.
Right.
And I feel like mine is just as good as everybody else.
It is.
If
Right.
not better.
Right.
I would say that's definitely a challenge, or like I said, funding, you know, because that, especially with COVID right now, it's going to be difficult because everybody's wearing the mask.
Right.
They're not. I had a mask on earlier today with my lipstick, and I wore matte, and I was like, oh my gosh, it gets a smear out the
Right.
sweat and
Right.
all that. So I will say that's a challenge as far as keeping funding, enough funding to keep your business going right now. That's probably the biggest challenge. So, you know, things of that nature. And most of all, like I said, just reaching everybody, wanting everybody to know, have your company as a household name, or marketing, or taking videos. There's a lot of work that goes into being an entrepreneur, and it involves, like I said, marketing yourself and believing that your products are as good as everybody else's. So that's definitely a challenge.
And you know, the reality is, everyone who starts a company or says I'm going to become an entrepreneur, they don't experience success.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. Some people don't even get from the drawing board to a finished product. So what is your idea on having a backup plan? Like, did you have a backup to say, you know what, I'm going to try my makeup line. If it doesn't work, then I'm just going to stay a teacher and I'm going to be okay with that. Do you believe in backup plans?
I do. Typically I do. But with this, no. I see myself on the other side.
Right.
I see hack beauty on the red carpets, and celebrities are saying, "Oh, I'm wearing hack."
Right.
I see it. I see it now. The vision to get there, I see it, but it's a matter of me continuing down that route.
Correct. Correct.
So I do. I'm a firm believer in having a backup plan, because I think it's always a plan A and a plan B. And it's about the route you take to get there. But I do see myself on the other side. So. Yeah.
So tell me about your future goals. I mean, I know you mentioned, you know what, I want to hear celebrities and I guess the bourgeois, you know, say, oh yeah, I wear hat.
Oh,
get hacked. I'm getting hacked. That's a hashtag.
Hashtag.
So you envision that. Is that the ultimate goal, or what do you see yourself doing in the future?
For the most part, my ultimate goal, like I said, would want my company to be a household name.
Right.
For everybody, for the young, the elderly, and my ultimate goal would be to have a full cosmetic line. Because like I said, right now, currently I have the lipstick, eyeshadow, but I want to venture out into the foundation.
Right.
And you know, that's definitely a big challenge that I've been afraid to do, but eventually I will definitely reach that goal. And then another goal, I've just recently started developing a cosmetic line. I'm sorry, a skincare line.
Right.
For men. So we have hacked men in
men. Do you hear that?
We have hacked men.
Because we have, you know what? And I'm glad you said that, because there are a lot of men who are insecure about their skin.
Right.
You know, and then they don't have, well, some of them do. But for the most part, they don't have the advantage of women. We can cover our blemishes with makeup. We can contour ourselves to death. You know, we can put on all this makeup and say, you know, we beat for the bars and all of those things. And we can hide that.
Right.
But for men, if they suffer with acne or discolorization, you know, dry patches, oily skin, they really don't have a cover-up for that.
Right.
So tell me what really inspired you to do something for the guys, because it's usually for women.
Yes, and you know, I'm all for the women. I'm
Right.
about women empowerment and inspiring women, and they, you know, they're always saying you inspire me to do this and that. But one thing I found is when I first started out, I was doing a lot of vendor events. And a lot of the men, they walk up, do you have anything for us? I'm like, oh no, not yet, but I will. And so I want them to feel the love too. You know, they deserve to get hugged and kissed by
I was going to say hugged and kissed by Deanna.
Men like hugs and kisses too. It's not like the ladies. And so after that happened a couple times, I said, oh my gosh, I have to do something for the ladies. And so one of my real good friends, actually my publicist, she's like, I said, hey, it's been in my heart, so let's get it going. So that's when I started. I've been developing this over the past like 8 months. And so I've been like, okay, we're going to get some for the men, but I cannot leave my ladies out. I can't give skincare for men and not
then we have to keep packing it on to hide it.
So we have Hacked Beauty skincare for ladies as well. So we'll be launching that very soon.
Okay. So to some people, you know, your life is a product of success, right? Even though you may feel, you know, I have so much more to go. where I want to be or where I envision myself. Is there a blueprint that you have that you could give, or does the blueprint not exist? Do you learn it along the way?
I actually am learning along the way. I have to really truly be honest and say that I'm learning along the way. I'm learning, hey Dee, you have to do videos.
Right.
You're not going to be as successful if you can't do these videos. Or I'm learning that you have to build your own website.
Right.
You have to change your website. It's a lot of things you have to do. So I'm learning. There's not a true blueprint for me. I'm learning along the way. And when I make a mistake, I go back and I say, okay, I'm going to do this different this time. So I don't have a blueprint. I really don't. I'm just trusting that God is keeping my creativity going to where it's allowing me to try some new things if this isn't working out. Like COVID, for instance. Lipstick sales have been down.
Right.
Everybody's at home.
Everybody's covered.
Everybody's taking care of their skin now. So it was only befitting that my men's Carolina is following into this where it's giving me more time to develop. So yes, not a blueprint. I'm pretty much learning as I go, and that's from across the board.
When you hear the word blueprint, what comes to mind for me is DNA. Because no one's DNA is the same, right? Okay. And so when you think about someone's blueprint, that's their journey. That's their professional DNA, and everyone's DNA is different. Everyone's blueprint is different. You can give all of the steps, the whole process of what you did, and someone can follow it to the T, and they still won't end up where you are. Right. Where you are. So when we think about a blueprint, when you're listening to these entrepreneurs, I want you to be encouraged, because what works for them may not work for you. That's right. And what she did, you may do totally different. One analogy I use, especially when we were talking about makeup, skincare, because there's so much out there. It's like when you turn to left or right, especially when you have people like Rihanna, Kylie Jenner, who are killing the game right now. But then the other big ones, L'Oreal, Maybelline, all of these other ones, you tend to feel like you're going to get lost in the crowd. And I tell people, you know what, when you go to the grocery store, how many brands of bread do you see on the shelf?
Plenty.
And you know what, they're not going anywhere. And so you can say, oh, well, I die by, what is it? Mrs. Baird's or whoever it is. There's something for everyone. Right. And just because, your product may not be for this person, the next person may love it. So I'm saying that to say, don't get discouraged if you feel, the desire to start an endeavor that you feel like, you know what, there are 1 million other people who have this idea, but they don't have your product. Right. So be encouraged by that. We are to my favorite question of every week, which is also the name of the episode of Tuesday nights. Okay. EntrepreKNEWWHAT? EntrepreKNEWWHAT? What is it that you wish you known as an entrepreneur before you got started? Now that you're walking it out, what can you tell someone else? Because they're like, you know what? I wish. I'm looking at her and this sounds good, but they don't see the backstory, right? It looks good. We're wearing the makeup, we're wearing the product, but they don't see the mental anguish, the struggles, the late nights, the fear tactics, the things with the disbelief in yourself, just the fight. Right. So what do you wish that you would have known before getting started that you wish somebody else would have told you?
Oh gosh, I guess I would say that it is much harder than you think, and that you have to trust the process. Right. It's not going to be easy. You have to keep going. You have to keep pushing yourself. So if I'd have known before I got started that it's a challenge. Right. It really is. From the marketing to believing that your product the market isn't oversaturated, that you have a place. If I'd have known before I started that it was as challenging as it was, I probably would. Right. I probably wouldn't have gotten started as soon. I probably would have did things a little differently. But I will say that, you have to have a team of people. You have to have a support system. But more than anything, you cannot give up on your dream. You set a goal, and you reach that goal, then you make another goal for yourself. So that's about it.
So what would you say to the ones who don't have a team, who are doing it by themselves?
Keep doing it by yourself. Now, I would say I don't really have a big team. I have certain people I go to for certain things, and I'm learning that it really pretty much always falls on the business owner. Right. as far as like if I don't post that day, nothing gets posted, you know. So it's a matter of just knowing that you have to keep yourself energized and keep yourself in the game and do your posts every day and do your research and put back savings for different things. Like I said, COVID has affected businesses tremendously, and I will be honest, mine has been affected because people aren't buying as much lipstick.
Right. Except me.
So
I bought all of mine during the pandemic.
She
When we were masked up, I was at home beating my face and sending her pictures.
You know what?
Going nowhere.
You're right. Going nowhere, but you had time to play.
Right. I had time to get hugged and kissed
Right.
by Deanna.
So I guess just knowing that it's lots of challenges and you have to just keep persevering through the process. It's a process.
So you heard it from the makeup mogul herself.
Yes.
That it is a process. It is challenging. You know, there is fear, but it was birthed out of pain.
Yes.
Because what you said was, I was insecure about this. And you know what? Turn your pain into a win.
That's right.
That's what I'm hearing from you. Because she took her insecurity and she made it into something great.
Right.
Her insecurity is now birthing confidence in other people. And that's why it's so important, because everybody's not getting hacked. You know, and I mentioned the bigger lines earlier, you know, the Rihannas, the Kylies, the L'Oreals, the Maybellines, and all Black Opal, and all of these other lines, but they don't have what you have. And they're not reaching the people that you have reached, because clearly when they tried your product, they're saying, you know what, now I wear lipstick. Now I feel more confident. I didn't know that I could look good in these colors. You know what, especially darker tone women. Sometimes we're afraid to, not me, but I'm just saying we're afraid to try those brighter colors because we think we're going to look like a clown. We've been made to believe that we're going to look like we're in blackface. And then the lighter skinned women, you know, the more fair skinned women are scared to wear darker colors because you think it's, oh, I look like I smoke. You know, it's gonna flush my face out, but it just gives you an opportunity to become somebody different.
To experiment.
To experience the fullness of yourself. Right. And I'm not saying that makeup does that, because it starts from within, like you said. But it gives you another way out. Another way out, and the more beautiful you feel, the more confident you feel, and you'll have enough confidence to get out there and do what you want to do.
That's right. Do you, be you, and inspire others.
There you have it. Listen, Hack Beauty. Deanna, I want you to look in the camera, and I want you to tell everybody about your company, how they can buy your products, all of your information, so they'll have it, and we want to see you go to the next level.
All right. Again, the company name is Hacked Beauty. You can find me at hackbeauty.com. That's HAKDbeauty.com. And I have an online store, and it's available for everyone. And I'm just ready for you to get hacked. And I'm going to ask you one last thing. Have you been hugged and kissed by Deanna?
Beautiful. Y'all heard it. HAKD.com. Hey, look out. Go on there and order all the stuff that's on the website right now. But like she said, she's been working on skincare for the last 8 months. I know I like to keep my skin intact. I know y'all like to keep y'all skin intact. You may not say it, but it's coming. So look out, support. Are you on social media?
Yes, Hacked Beauty on Instagram, and on Facebook is Hacked Beauty by Deanna.
So you have no excuse. I know y'all on social media because you're watching this. So look for her on Facebook, Instagram. Is there a Twitter?
No, I don't have a Twitter.
Okay.
Not officially. I don't really post on Twitter too much.
So Facebook, Instagram,
and the website is hackedbeauty.com. HAKDBEAUTY.com.
There you go. Hackbeauty.com. Listen, thank you so much, Deanna, for joining me, for giving these words of wisdom to all of those who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, those who are already entrepreneurs, and those who may be looking at this saying, you know what, I'm going to start a beauty line just because of her. I know this woman. She doesn't mind giving information. She doesn't mind sharing what she's learned, because, you know, we have a lot of that. Well, we sit on a wealth of knowledge because we don't want anyone else to win. Listen, if the Bible puts it like this, God gives seed to the sower. So if you're sowing information, if you are sowing a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, whatever it is that you can give, you may say, I don't have money to support support our business. It's hard. We're in a pandemic. I can't buy lipstick right now. But you know what? What I can do is tell everybody about it. I can share this video. I can go and I can share our post about it. I can share it with my family members. Just do something and it'll come back to you, okay? Listen, thank you again, Deanna. I'm so excited about our entrepreneurs. Listen, every month we highlight a new entrepreneur. Every Tuesday is EntrepreKNEWWHAT. You can listen to this interview. You can talk about what's going on. If you are interested in being highlighted, because we want to support you and we want to make sure that you're going to the next level of success as well, send in your information. You can send me a DM. You can get my email. You'll see it on the bottom of the screen or post it on my page, and we will look into it so we can support you as well. Thanks again. Next Tuesday, again, EntrepreKNEWWHAT. We're going to be rebroadcasting this for those of you who missed it. Tomorrow is Wednesday. You know what that means. What's the issue Wednesday? We have a very hot topic with just an amazing special guest. I can't wait for you guys to tune in. Listen, have a great night. Thank you for joining us every week. We bless God for you guys. Have a wonderful evening.
Good night.
Good night. All right.
Something out of nothing. I turn it into everything. Allow me to make a plain. Listen to what I say. The man in me. I've been down before, but now I'm UP. I've got the same body upgrade. Mind, body, brains, and put that on everything. I'm moving forward. Don't wanna look back. I got my life and I got it on track. Gotta keep it pushing, so let's bring it